The topic I chose to research is Alice. Alice is a 3D interactive computer programming environment being used in schools and colleges around the world to teach students with little or no programming background how to create animated movies and video games using virtual worlds. Alice is open source and it is being explored as an educational tool for students in middle school through college. It provides the same basic construct as the programming languages Java and C++. Students can select a pre-made 3D character or object from a gallery and make the character move and interact with objects and other characters in a virtual world by simply dragging commands from a toolbar. The commands are actually program code fragments in plain English, like move 1 rotation or go ahead X units. The students must learn how to string the commands together in the way that will achieve the desired effect, but there's none of the usual frustration arising from syntax errors that usually plague programmers in the more typical learning context. Also, users can immediately see the results of changes they make. The Alice experiment was started a little over 10 years ago at the University of Virginia by Randy Pausch, who you may know from his now famous last lecture, which he presented after he moved on to Carnegie Mellon. Since Randy's death, the project has been spearheaded by Wanda Dan and Dennis Cosgrove, among others at Carnegie Mellon. Alice has been supported by a number of corporations and foundations, including Electronic Arts, Oracle, the National Science Foundation, and most recently, Sun Microsystems. Alice was originally conceived as a rapid prototyping tool for virtual reality software. Over time, it evolved into a learning tool for students. The team realized it could be valuable in addressing the decline in new computer science majors since the dot-com bubble burst. It was hoped that it would be particularly effective in encouraging young girls and other underrepresented groups to pursue the field of computer programming. The idea was that if young people could make small movies and video games without first wading through an introductory course in a programming language like Java, it might be possible to turn around the drop in new computer science majors at Carnegie Mellon and other colleges and universities around the country. It was hoped that Alice could show students that computer science is not just sitting around writing code all day, but a way to be creative and to make their ideas come to life. So how effective has Alice been in achieving these goals? Well, as you might expect, there are differing opinions. The Alice team at Carnegie Mellon has had enough positive feedback to continue on with the program. They tested it on 25 first-year computer science majors at St. Joseph's University and Ithaca College, who were considered at risk of not completing the major because they had little previous programming experience or they had weak math preparation. At Ithaca, Alice was taught as a 2-credit course running during the first half of the basic computer science course. At St. Joseph's, Alice was taught as a semester-long course taken before entering the basic computer science course. At the conclusion of this first experiment, the Alice team concluded that the data supported the effectiveness of the Alice course in improving student performance in the basic programming course, retention in the computer science major, and attitudes towards the field. Here's what other educational institutions found. As you can see, a little more than half of the studies I looked at had more positive things to say than negative about Alice. While there are problems that need to be worked out in Alice, between March 2006 and March 2007, the Alice software was downloaded over 444,000 times. That is expected to skyrocket when Alice 3.0 becomes widely available. The graphics in the current version of Alice are fairly crude, especially by today's video game standards. Alice 3.0 will have more realistic characters based on models from Electronic Arts' Sims game. There is also an alternate version called Story Alice, which was designed to introduce programming concepts to younger children. Alice was revised in significant ways to make it more useful for storytelling rather than general animation. Use of Story Alice may help create a more positive introduction to programming for both boys and girls. Next, they plan to study groups who are introduced to programming through Alice and through Story Alice and compare the results. My overall assessment of Alice is that it looks promising as a tool for attracting and retaining computer science majors, as well as for getting middle school age students interested in the field of programming. Over 10 years have been spent developing Alice at Carnegie Mellon, and probably hundreds of hours have been spent at universities around the world in testing Alice. With the help of Sun Microsystems and Electronic Arts, Alice 3.0 could be the wave of the future for developing computer scientists in the 2020s and the 2030s. Or it could turn out to be an expensive and time-consuming experiment that yields little results. Only time will tell. If you would like to learn more about Alice, here's the website. Thanks for listening.